Why does it take 10 years for one person to build a fortune, while another person, with the same talent and the same resources, does it in 10 months? Is it luck? Is it hard work? Wallace D. Wattles says no. He says, the difference lies in the speed of transmission between your mind and the formless substance. Most people are sending a signal that creates drag, friction, and delay. But there is a specific mental signal that removes all friction, collapsing the time between thought and thing. The pain you feel is the frustration of the gap, the long agonizing wait between planting the seed and seeing the harvest. You have done the visualizations, you have written the affirmations, you have held the vision with all your heart, and yet the days turn into weeks. The weeks turn into months, and the physical evidence remains stubbornly absent. It feels like the universe is slow, like there is some cosmic bureaucracy processing your request at the pace of a glacier. You begin to wonder if you are doing something wrong, if you are missing some secret ingredient, or if the whole system is a lie. We think we have to wait for the universe to arrange things. We imagine that our desires must travel through some vast machinery of coincidence and circumstance before they can arrive at our doorstep. But Wattles taught that the universe acts at the exact speed of your own faith. Time is not a barrier, it is a buffer created by your own mixed signals. When you say, I want this in the morning and I doubt this in the afternoon, you are not waiting on the universe. The universe is waiting on you to make up your mind. The delay is not in the delivery system, the delay is in the sender. The promise I offer you today is the knowledge of the speed secret, the single mental signal that creates a frictionless channel for creation, accelerating the flow of riches into your life. This is not about working harder or doing more things. This is about transmitting a clearer signal. When you learn to broadcast this specific frequency without interruption, without static, without contradiction, the formless substance responds not in years or months, but in the time it takes for thought to become form. You will discover that you have been living with the emergency brake engaged, and today you will learn how to release it. Think of this teaching as the accelerator pedal of the science of getting rich. Everything Wattles taught about the creative process, about gratitude, about vision, about acting in the certain way, all of it is true, all of it is necessary, but there is one element that determines the velocity of your results. This is that element. In this video, you will learn the exact frequency of this speed signal and the 3-step method to broadcast it continuously. You will discover how to collapse the timeline of your success, how to move from desire to manifestation, not through frantic effort, but through perfect alignment. But I must warn you, there is a specific emotion that feels like motivation, but is actually the #1 cause of cosmic delay. It acts like a brake pedal that you are pressing without knowing it. Most people mistake this emotion for ambition or drive, and they push harder on it, wondering why their results are slowing down instead of speeding up. I will reveal this speed killer in part 4, and when you recognize it in your own life, you will understand why your previous efforts have taken so long. Until then, hold your curiosity, because the foundation must be laid first. If you are ready to learn the mechanics of acceleration, if you are ready to stop waiting and start receiving, then I ask you to set your intention right now. Comment below, I am ready for speed. Let that statement be your declaration to the formless substance that you are no longer content with delay. Subscribe to the Master's Legacy, because this channel exists to decode the exact methods the great masters used to bend reality to their will. Now let us begin with the foundation of speed itself. Wallace D. Wattles understood something that most people never grasp. The formless substance is not slow, it is not lazy, it is not indifferent, it is intelligent, it is responsive, and it moves with absolute immediacy. When you think a thought that is perfectly aligned with creative power, the formless substance begins to arrange circumstances, opportunities, and resources in that same instant. The delay you experience is never on the side of the supply. The delay is always in the receiver. The universe is not making you wait. You are making the universe wait for you to send a clear, uninterrupted signal. The mental signal that accelerates creation is what Wattles calls the united action of faith and purpose. Faith is the absolute certainty that the thing you desire already exists in the invisible realm, that it is real, that it is yours. Purpose is the unwavering intention to use that thing in a specific way, to take possession of it, to act as though it is already in your hands. When these two elements are locked together, when there is no gap between believing and intending, when there is no wavering, no doubt, no hesitation, the signal you send to the formless substance is pure, coherent, and impossibly fast. Most people send a fragmented signal. They believe for a moment, then doubt for a moment. They intend to act, then hesitate. They visualize their desire in the morning, then spend the afternoon worrying about bills. This is not a signal. This is static. Imagine trying to download a file from the internet, but your connection keeps dropping every few seconds. The download speed does not slow down, it stops completely. The server is ready to send the data instantly, but your modem cannot hold the connection. This is what happens when faith and purpose are not united. The formless substance is ready to deliver, but you keep disconnecting. The speed secret is not a new technique or a hidden ritual. It is the elimination of internal contradiction. It is the practice of holding faith and purpose together without allowing any thought, emotion, or external circumstance to separate them. When you can do this, when you can maintain the signal of "it is real and I am using it" for an extended period without interruption, the time between desire and manifestation collapses. What would have taken years happens in months. What would have taken months happens in weeks. This is not magic, this is the natural law of mental transmission. Wattles observed that the people who achieved wealth rapidly were not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They were the ones who could hold a thought without contradiction. They did not oscillate between hope and fear. They did not question whether their desires were possible. They simply decided what they wanted, believed it was already theirs in the invisible realm, and moved forward with absolute certainty. Their minds were like laser beams, focused, coherent, and unbroken. The formless substance had no choice but to respond at maximum speed because there was no resistance in the signal. Consider the nature of thought itself. A thought is not a passive thing, it is a force. It is a vibration that moves through the formless substance like a wave moves through water. When the thought is pure and sustained, the wave is strong and clear, and it reaches its destination instantly. But when the thought is mixed with doubt, the wave becomes choppy and weak. It dissipates before it can reach its target. You are not waiting for the universe to hear you. The universe heard you the moment you thought the thought. You are waiting for yourself to stop cancelling the thought with its opposite. This is why Wattles insists that you must think in a certain way. The certain way is not about the content of your thoughts, it is about the quality of your signal. You can visualize wealth all day long, but if you are simultaneously thinking, "I hope this works," or "I wonder when it will come," you are not sending the speed signal. You are sending a mixed signal, and a mixed signal produces mixed results, or no results at all. The certain way is the way of absolute coherence, where every thought, every word, every action is aligned with the single truth. It is mine now. The united action of faith and purpose is not something you do once and then forget. It is a state of being that you must maintain continuously. Faith is not a moment of belief, it is a sustained frequency. Purpose is not a fleeting intention, it is a constant direction. When you wake up in the morning, you must reconnect to this signal. When you go about your day, you must hold this signal. When challenges arise, you must return to this signal. The speed of your manifestation is directly proportional to the consistency of your signal. If you can hold it for an hour, you will see results faster than someone who holds it for a minute. If you can hold it for a day, you will see results faster than someone who holds it for an hour. Most people fail at this, not because they lack desire, but because they lack discipline. They allow their minds to wander into doubt, into comparison, into impatience. They check the physical world for evidence, and when they do not see it immediately, they assume the process is not working. This act of checking is itself a signal of doubt, and it resets the entire process. It is like planting a seed, then digging it up every day to see if it is growing. The seed will never grow because you keep interrupting its natural process. The same is true for your desires. You must plant the seed of faith and purpose and then leave it alone. Do not check on it, do not worry about it. Simply hold the signal and let the formless substance do its work. Wattles teaches that the formless substance is like clay in the hands of a potter. The potter does not doubt that the clay will take the shape he impresses upon it. He does not wonder if the clay will cooperate. He simply shapes it with confidence, and the clay responds. You are the potter, and the formless substance is the clay. Your faith is the pressure of your hands, and your purpose is the shape you are creating. When you press with certainty, the clay responds instantly. When you press with hesitation, the clay remains formless. The speed of creation is determined by the firmness of your touch. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal mechanism of how reality works. Thought is the creative power of the universe, and the formless substance is the raw material that thought shapes. When your thought is clear and sustained, the shaping happens instantly. When your thought is unclear and interrupted, the shaping does not happen at all. You're not waiting for some external force to grant you permission or to arrange the pieces. You're waiting for yourself to stop interfering with the natural flow of creation. The moment you send a pure signal, the moment faith and purpose are perfectly united, the formless substance begins to move, and it moves at the speed of thought itself. The question you must ask yourself is this: how much of your day is spent in perfect alignment with faith and purpose, and how much is spent in doubt, worry, or distraction? If you are honest, you will realize that most people spend less than 1% of their mental energy on the speed signal. The rest is wasted on fear, on complaint, on idle chatter, on meaningless entertainment. And then they wonder why their desires take so long to manifest. The universe is not slow. You are slow. You are the bottleneck. You are the source of the delay. And the good news is that because you are the source, you are also the solution. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that the speed of your results is entirely within your control, a profound shift occurs. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop looking for external validation. You simply take full responsibility for the signal you are sending, and you commit to sending it with absolute purity. This is the moment when acceleration begins. This is the moment when the gap between desire and manifestation begins to close. This is the moment when you step into the flow of rapid creation. Wattles did not teach this as theory, he lived it. He wrote, "The science of getting rich in a state of profound certainty," and the principles he outlined were not speculations, they were observations of natural law. He saw that those who succeeded quickly were those who thought in a certain way, and those who struggled were those who allowed their thoughts to scatter. He distilled this observation into a simple truth: the united action of faith and purpose is the accelerator of all creation. When you master this, you master time itself. Not by controlling the clock, but by removing the resistance that makes time feel slow. You align with the speed of the universe, and the universe aligns with you. Let me give you an analogy that will make this principle crystal clear. Imagine the universe is a super-fast server with infinite bandwidth, and your desire is a file stored on that server, ready to be downloaded into your life. The server is always on, always ready, always capable of instant transmission. It does not sleep. It does not lag. It does not run out of resources. It is waiting for you to initiate the download. But your mind is the modem. If your signal is choppy, oscillating between "I want this" and "I doubt this," the download speed drops to 0. The server is still ready, the file is still there, but your modem cannot hold the connection long enough to receive it. The speed signal is a connection of 100% coherence. It is the state where your modem is locked onto the server without a single interruption, without a single moment of disconnection. When faith, the certainty that the file exists and is yours, and purpose, the intention to use the file once it arrives, are locked together without wavering, the download happens at the maximum speed of reality. The file does not travel slowly. It arrives instantly because there is no resistance in the channel. The only thing that ever slowed it down was your inconsistent connection. Most people do not realize they are constantly disconnecting. They send the signal for a few minutes, then they check their bank account and send a signal of lack. They visualize their dream house, then they complain about their current apartment and send a signal of dissatisfaction. They affirm their success, then they gossip about someone else's failure and send a signal of judgment. Each of these contradictions is a disconnection. Each disconnection resets the download. The universe is not punishing you for doubting. It is simply responding to the signal you are actually sending, not the signal you think you are sending. This is why Wattles emphasizes the importance of thinking in a certain way at all times. It is not enough to visualize once a day and then spend the rest of your time in fear and doubt. That is like trying to download a file by connecting to the internet for 1 minute every morning and then unplugging for the rest of the day. You will never complete the download. The certain way is the practice of maintaining the connection continuously, of refusing to allow any thought or emotion to interrupt the signal. This requires vigilance, discipline, and a deep understanding of what faith and purpose truly mean. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is not hoping that something will happen. It is the absolute knowing that it has already happened in the realm of cause, and it is now making its way into the realm of effect. When you have true faith, you do not feel anxious or uncertain. You feel calm because you know the outcome is guaranteed. You are not waiting to see if it will work. You are simply waiting for the physical form to catch up with the mental reality. This is the state of the master. This is the state that produces speed. Purpose is not a vague desire. It is not saying, "I want to be rich someday." It is the clear, definite intention to use your wealth in a specific way, to take possession of it, to act as though it is already in your hands. When you have true purpose, you do not sit around daydreaming. You move, you prepare, you make decisions as though the money is already in your account. You shop for the house as though you already have the down payment. You plan the business as though the capital is already secured. This is not pretending. This is aligning your actions with the reality you have created in your mind. When faith and purpose are united, they create a signal so powerful that the formless substance has no choice but to respond. It is like turning on a light switch. The electricity does not hesitate. It flows instantly because the circuit is complete. Your mind is the circuit, and when there is no break in the connection, the power flows without delay. The moment you introduce doubt, you break the circuit. The moment you hesitate, you interrupt the flow. The speed of your manifestation is determined by how long you can keep the circuit closed. Now, here is where most people make a critical error. They think that maintaining the signal requires constant effort, constant visualization, constant affirmation. They exhaust themselves trying to hold the thought, and when they inevitably get tired, they assume the process does not work. But Wattles teaches that the signal is not maintained by force, it is maintained by conviction. When you truly believe something, you do not have to remind yourself of it every second. You simply know it, and that knowing permeates everything you do. A person who knows they are wealthy does not need to visualize wealth all day long. They simply move through the world with the confidence of wealth, and that confidence is the signal. This is the difference between trying and being. Trying to be wealthy is a signal of lack. Being wealthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, is the speed signal. When you are wealthy in your mind, you do not check your bank account with anxiety. You do not compare yourself to others with envy. You do not hoard or grasp or worry. You simply live from the assumption that abundance is your natural state, and that assumption is broadcast into the formless substance with every thought, every word, every action. The formless substance receives this signal and says, "Yes, this person is wealthy. I will arrange the physical evidence to match their mental reality." The logic is unshakable. If the formless substance is intelligent and responsive, and if thought is the creative force, then the speed of creation must be determined by the purity of the thought. A pure thought, one that is undiluted by doubt, fear, or contradiction, moves through the formless substance like a bullet through air. A mixed thought, one that is contaminated by uncertainty or hesitation, moves through the formless substance like a rock through mud. It is not that the formless substance is unwilling to respond, it is that the signal is too weak to penetrate. This is why Wattles insists that you must never allow yourself to think or speak in a way that contradicts your vision. Every word of doubt is a signal to the formless substance that you do not truly believe. Every moment of worry is a signal that you do not truly trust. Every act of impatience is a signal that you are still living in the old reality of lack. The formless substance does not judge you for these signals, but it does respond to them. It gives you exactly what you are asking for, and if you are asking for delay by sending a signal of doubt, then delay is what you will receive. The speed signal, then, is not a technique you perform. It is a state you embody. It is the natural result of aligning your entire being, mind, emotion, and action with the truth of your desire. When you live in this state, you do not feel like you are manifesting. You feel like you are simply living your life, and your life happens to include the things you desire. There is no strain, no effort, no waiting. There is only the calm certainty that what is yours is on its way, and it is coming at the speed of light, because there is nothing in your signal to slow it down. Wattles teaches that the formless substance is like a mirror. It reflects back to you exactly what you show it. If you show it doubt, it reflects delay. If you show it faith, it reflects speed. If you show it a mixed signal, it reflects confusion. The universe is not playing games with you. It is not testing you. It is simply responding to the frequency you are broadcasting. And the moment you clean up your frequency, the moment you eliminate the static and send a pure signal of faith and purpose, the mirror reflects back to you with perfect clarity and perfect speed. This is the unshakable logic of the speed secret. The delay is not in the universe. The delay is in you. The power is not in some external force. The power is in your own mind. The moment you accept full responsibility for the signal you are sending, the moment you stop blaming circumstances and start mastering your thoughts, you step into the flow of rapid creation. You become a conduit for the formless substance, and it moves through you with the speed and precision of lightning. This is not a promise. This is a law. And like all laws, it works every time for everyone, without exception. The required state for transmitting the speed signal is what I call relaxed intensity. This is not a contradiction. It is a paradox that you must learn to embody. You cannot force speed with tension, because tension is resistance, and resistance is the very thing that slows down the creative process. At the same time, you cannot achieve speed through passivity, because passivity is indifference, and indifference sends no signal at all. The state you are seeking is the calm certainty of a master, someone who knows the outcome is guaranteed and therefore does not need to strain or worry. Think of a master archer drawing a bow. There is intensity in the focus, in the aim, in the commitment to the target. But there is no tension in the body. The muscles are engaged, but they are not rigid. The mind is concentrated, but it is not anxious. The archer does not hope the arrow will hit the target. The archer knows it will, because every element of the shot has been aligned with precision. The release is smooth, effortless, and the arrow flies straight and fast because there was no jerking, no hesitation, no doubt. This is relaxed intensity. This is the state that produces speed. Most people approach manifestation with either too much tension or too much passivity. Those with too much tension are the ones who try to force results. They visualize with clenched fists and gritted teeth. They affirm with desperation. They check for evidence constantly, as though they can will the universe into submission. This is not faith. This is fear disguised as effort. The tension in their signal creates resistance, and the formless substance cannot move through resistance. It is like trying to push water through a kinked hose. The water is ready to flow, but the kink prevents it. On the other hand, those with too much passivity are the ones who visualize once and then forget about it. They assume that the universe will take care of everything while they sit back and do nothing. They confuse faith with complacency. They think that because they have set the intention, they no longer need to hold the signal. But faith without purpose is not the speed signal. It is just daydreaming. The formless substance responds to sustained focus, not fleeting wishes. If you send the signal once and then disconnect, the download never completes. Relaxed intensity is the middle path. It is the state where you are fully committed to your vision, but you are not attached to the timeline. You hold the signal continuously, but you do not grip it with fear. You act with purpose, but you do not act with desperation. You trust the process so completely that you can move through your day with ease, knowing that every step you take is guided by the intelligence of the formless substance. This is the state of the master, and this is the state that collapses time. To cultivate relaxed intensity, you must first eliminate the belief that struggle is necessary. Many people believe that if they are not stressed, they are not working hard enough. They wear their anxiety like a badge of honor, as though suffering is proof of commitment. But Wattles teaches the opposite. He teaches that ease is the sign of alignment. When you are in the flow of creation, things feel effortless. Opportunities appear without strain. Resources arrive without struggle. This does not mean you are not working. It means you are working in harmony with the formless substance, not against it. The second element of relaxed intensity is unwavering focus. This is not the same as obsession. Obsession is tension. Unwavering focus is the calm, steady attention of someone who knows exactly where they are going. It is the difference between a sprinter who is panicking and a marathon runner who is pacing themselves. The sprinter burns out quickly because they are running in fear. The marathon runner reaches the finish line because they are running with strategy. Your manifestation is a marathon, not a sprint. You do not need to exhaust yourself with frantic effort. You need to hold the signal with steady, consistent focus. The third element is the practice of mental hygiene. Just as you would not drink from a dirty glass, you must not allow your mind to be contaminated by thoughts that contradict your vision. Every time you catch yourself thinking a thought of doubt, lack, or delay, you must immediately replace it with a thought of faith, abundance, and speed. This is not suppression. This is redirection. You are training your mind to stay on the frequency of the speed signal, and like any training, it requires repetition and discipline. Over time, the new frequency becomes your default, and you no longer have to consciously correct yourself. You simply think in the certain way automatically. The fourth element is the understanding that speed is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things with perfect alignment. Many people confuse activity with progress. They fill their schedules with tasks, hoping that sheer volume will produce results. But Wattles teaches that one action taken in perfect alignment with the formless substance is worth more than 1,000 actions taken in doubt. The speed signal is not about how many hours you work. It is about the quality of your mental state while you work. When you act from relaxed intensity, every action is infused with creative power, and the results come faster because the signal is pure. The fifth element is the practice of present moment awareness. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. The only moment that matters is now. When you are fully present, you are not distracted by regrets or anxieties. You are not wondering if the process is working or when the results will arrive. You are simply here in this moment, holding the signal of faith and purpose. This is the state where the formless substance can reach you most easily because you are not blocking the channel with mental noise. You are clear, open, and receptive. Relaxed intensity is not a state you achieve once and then maintain forever. It is a state you return to again and again throughout your day. Life will present challenges, distractions, and temptations to fall back into doubt or tension. Your job is not to avoid these moments. Your job is to recognize them quickly and return to the state of relaxed intensity as fast as possible. The speed of your return determines the speed of your results. If you can catch yourself within seconds and realign, you lose no momentum. If you allow yourself to stay in doubt for hours or days, you reset the process. This is the mental preparation required for the speed signal. It is not complicated, but it is profound. It requires you to let go of the belief that struggle is necessary, to cultivate unwavering focus without obsession, to maintain mental hygiene, to prioritize alignment over activity, and to stay present in the moment. When you embody these principles, you become a clear channel for the formless substance. You become someone through whom creation flows effortlessly and rapidly. You become the master of time, not by controlling it, but by removing the resistance that makes it feel slow. The state of relaxed intensity is the foundation upon which the speed signal is built. Without it, the techniques I'm about to share will not work, because the techniques are merely tools. The state is the power. The state is the signal. When you master this state, you master the art of rapid creation. You step into a reality where your desires do not take years to manifest. They take weeks, days, or even hours. Not because the universe has sped up, but because you have stopped slowing it down. Wattles understood this deeply. He knew that the people who achieved wealth rapidly were not the ones who worked the hardest or worried the most. They were the ones who could hold the vision with calm certainty, who could move through the world with purpose but without desperation, who could trust the process so completely that they did not need to force it. They were the ones who embodied relaxed intensity, and because of that, the formless substance moved through them at maximum speed. This is the state you must cultivate if you want to experience the same acceleration. Now that you understand the required state, you are ready to learn the three components of the speed signal itself. These are the specific mental actions that, when combined with relaxed intensity, create a frictionless channel for creation. They are simple, but they are not easy. They require discipline, awareness, and a willingness to think in a way that most people never do. But if you can master them, you will collapse the timeline of your success in ways that will astonish you. Let us proceed. The first component of the speed signal is eliminate the static, which means achieving total coherence. You must remove all contradictory thoughts from your mental broadcast. You cannot pray for wealth in the morning and worry about bills at lunch. You cannot visualize your dream life at night and complain about your current circumstances during the day. Every worry is static that interrupts the signal. Every doubt is a disconnection. Every moment of fear is a reset button. You must train your mind to stay on the frequency of abundance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without exception. This is not as difficult as it sounds, but it does require vigilance. The human mind is conditioned to focus on problems. We have been trained since childhood to notice what is wrong, to prepare for danger, to worry about the future. This is a survival mechanism, and it served our ancestors well when they were avoiding predators. But in the modern world, this mechanism is a liability. It keeps you focused on lack, and lack is the opposite of the speed signal. If you want to accelerate creation, you must reprogram your mind to focus on abundance, even when the physical evidence suggests otherwise. The way to eliminate static is through the practice of instant correction. The moment you catch yourself thinking a thought that contradicts your vision, you must immediately, within seconds, replace it with a thought that aligns with your vision. Do not allow the contradictory thought to linger. Do not analyze it or argue with it. Simply replace it. If you catch yourself worrying about money, immediately replace that thought with gratitude for the wealth that is flowing to you. If you catch yourself doubting your ability to succeed, immediately replace that thought with the certainty that success is your natural state. This is not denial. This is redirection. The key word here is immediately. The speed of your correction determines the speed of your manifestation. If you allow a thought of doubt to sit in your mind for an hour, you have just broadcast an hour of static. If you correct it within seconds, you have lost only seconds of momentum. Most people do not realize how much time they spend in mental static. They think that because they visualized for 10 minutes in the morning, they are on track. But then they spend the rest of the day worrying, complaining, and doubting, and they wonder why their results are slow. The speed signal requires consistency. It requires you to stay on frequency all day long. This does not mean you ignore reality. It means you choose which aspect of reality to focus on. Every situation has two sides, the side of lack and the side of abundance. If you focus on the lack, you amplify it. If you focus on the abundance, you amplify that. Wattles teaches that you must never speak of times as being hard or of business conditions as being doubtful. To do so is to create the very conditions you fear. You must speak and think only of prosperity, only of success, only of the good that is coming. This is not positive thinking. This is strategic thinking. You are choosing to focus on the signal that produces the results you want. The second component of the speed signal is the signal of now, which means broadcasting possession. The universe gives you what you have, not what you want. Wanting implies future. It implies that the thing is not yet yours, that you are still in a state of lack. Having implies now. It implies that the thing is already yours in the realm of cause, and it is simply making its way into the realm of effect. To accelerate creation, you must signal that you possess the thing in spirit right now. You must treat the idea as a finished fact. This collapses the time buffer. This is the most misunderstood aspect of manifestation. People think that if they want something badly enough, the universe will give it to them. But wanting is a signal of lack, and the universe responds to lack by giving you more lack. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your state. If your state is "I want," then the universe keeps you in a state of wanting. If your state is "I have," then the universe moves to match your physical reality to your mental reality. This is why Wattles teaches that you must think and act as though you already possess the thing you desire. How do you do this? You do this by living from the end. You do not wait for the money to arrive before you start planning how to use it. You plan now. You do not wait for the house to appear before you start imagining yourself living in it. You imagine now. You do not wait for the success to manifest before you start feeling successful. You feel successful now. This is not pretending. This is aligning your mental state with the reality you are creating. When you live from the end, you send a signal of possession, and the formless substance responds by delivering the physical evidence of that possession. Living from the end requires a shift in language. You do not say, "I will be wealthy." You say, "I am wealthy." You do not say, "I hope to succeed." You say, "I am succeeding." You do not say, "I want a new house." You say, "I am living in my new house." This is not affirmation for the sake of affirmation. This is a declaration of your current state. When you speak in the present tense, you signal to the formless substance that the thing is already done. And when the thing is already done in your mind, it must become done in your physical reality, because the two are connected. The third component of the speed signal is the action of readiness, which means movement. You must move physically at the speed you want the universe to move. This does not mean rushing. It means instant obedience to intuition. When you get a hunch, you act immediately. When you feel a nudge to call someone, to visit a place, to explore an opportunity, you do not hesitate, you do not wait for the right time. You act now. Delayed action from you signals to the universe that you are in no rush, so it slows down too. This is the component that most people neglect. They do the visualization, they do the affirmations, they hold the mental state, but then they sit on the couch and wait for the universe to deliver. This is not how the speed signal works. The formless substance moves through you, not for you. It gives you intuitions, hunches, and impulses, and it expects you to act on them immediately. When you do, you complete the circuit. When you do not, you break the circuit, and the flow stops. The action of readiness is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things at the right time. Wattles teaches that you must do every act in a successful manner. This means that when you act with the certainty that the action will produce the desired result. You do not act tentatively, hoping it will work. You act decisively, knowing it will work. This certainty is part of the signal. When the formless substance sees that you are moving with confidence, it moves with you. When it sees that you are moving with doubt, it hesitates. The key to instant obedience is trust. You must trust that the hunches you receive are not random. They are guidance from the formless substance. Many people ignore their intuition because they do not understand where it comes from. They think it is just their imagination or wishful thinking. But Wattles teaches that intuition is the voice of the formless substance speaking through you. It is the intelligence of the universe guiding you toward the fastest path to your desire. When you learn to trust this voice and act on it immediately, you accelerate the entire process. There is a rhythm to the speed signal. You hold the mental state of possession, you eliminate all contradictory thoughts, and you act on every intuition immediately. These three components work together to create a signal so pure and so powerful that the formless substance has no choice but to respond at maximum speed. The delay is not in the universe. The delay is in your hesitation, your doubt, your failure to act. When you remove these delays, the universe moves as fast as you do. After you have implemented the three components of the speed signal, there is a post-technique practice that will ensure you maintain the signal without interruption. I call this practice instant shifts. The moment a doubt arises, and doubts will arise because you are human and you live in a world that constantly bombards you with evidence of lack, you must instantly, within seconds, replace that doubt with the thought of gratitude. The speed of your correction determines the speed of your manifestation. Gratitude is the most powerful corrective tool you have. It is not just a nice feeling. It is a frequency that instantly realigns you with abundance. When you feel grateful, you cannot simultaneously feel doubtful. When you are thanking the formless substance for what is already yours, you cannot simultaneously be worrying about whether it will arrive. Gratitude is the antidote to fear, the antidote to doubt, the antidote to impatience. It is the fastest way to return to the speed signal when you have momentarily disconnected. The practice of instant shifts is simple, but it requires awareness. You must become vigilant about your thoughts. You must catch the doubts as they arise, before they have a chance to take root. Most people allow doubts to sit in their minds for hours or days, and by the time they realize what has happened, they have already reset the entire process. But if you can catch the doubt within seconds and replace it with gratitude, you lose almost no momentum. You stay on the frequency of the speed signal, and the formless substance continues to move at full speed. Here is how you practice instant shifts. Let us say you are visualizing your new business, and suddenly a thought enters your mind. What if this doesn't work? What if I fail? The moment you recognize this thought, you do not engage with it. You do not argue with it or try to rationalize it away. You simply replace it instantly with a statement of gratitude. Thank you for the success that is already mine. Thank you for the clients who are already coming. Thank you for the wealth that is already flowing. You say this with feeling, with conviction, and you hold that feeling for at least 30 seconds. This is enough to reset your frequency and return to the speed signal. The power of this practice lies in its immediacy. Most people wait until they are deep in a spiral of doubt before they try to correct it. By then, the damage is done. They have spent hours broadcasting static, and they have to start the process all over again. But when you practice instant shifts, you never allow the static to build. You catch it at the first flicker and extinguish it immediately. This keeps your signal clean, your frequency high, and your manifestation timeline short. Another aspect of the post technique is the practice of evening review. Before you go to sleep each night, you review your day and identify any moments where you disconnected from the speed signal. You do not judge yourself for these moments. You simply acknowledge them and make a mental note to catch them faster tomorrow. Then you spend a few minutes in gratitude, thanking the formless substance for the progress you made that day and for the manifestation that is coming. This practice ensures that you end each day on the frequency of abundance and you wake up the next morning ready to continue the signal without interruption. The evening review also serves another purpose. It trains your subconscious mind to recognize the patterns of doubt and fear so that you can catch them faster in real time. Over time, you will notice that the doubts arise less frequently, and when they do, you catch them almost instantly. This is the sign that you are mastering the speed signal. You are no longer fighting against your own mind. You are working with it, training it, shaping it into a perfect transmitter of faith and purpose. There is also a practice I call the morning alignment. Before you engage with the world, before you check your phone or read the news or talk to anyone, you spend the first few minutes of your day reconnecting to the speed signal. You visualize your desire as already complete. You feel the gratitude of possession. You set the intention to act on every intuition immediately. This morning practice sets the tone for your entire day. It ensures that you start from a place of alignment rather than reacting to external circumstances. The combination of instant shifts, evening review, and morning alignment creates a complete system for maintaining the speed signal. You are not just practicing the signal for a few minutes a day, you are living it. You are making it your default state. And when the speed signal becomes your default state, the results come so fast that they will astonish you. What used to take months will take weeks. What used to take weeks will take days. This is not magic. This is the natural result of removing all resistance from the channel of creation. Now we come to the refinement, where I must warn you of the fatal mistakes that most people make when attempting to accelerate their manifestation. These mistakes are subtle, and they feel like the right thing to do, but they are actually the #1 causes of cosmic delay. If you can avoid these mistakes, You will cut your manifestation timeline in half. If you fall into them, you will remain stuck in the slow lane, wondering why the speed signal is not working for you. The first mistake, and this is the hook I promised you earlier, is what I call the hurry trap. This is the paradox that confuses most people. They hear about the speed signal and they think, great, I need to hurry up and make this happen. They start rushing, pushing, forcing, trying to make things happen through sheer willpower. They fill their schedules with frantic activity. They check for results constantly. They feel anxious and stressed because they are in a hurry to succeed. But here is the truth that Wattles teaches. Hurry is fear disguised as speed. When you hurry, you are signaling to the formless substance, I am afraid there isn't enough time, or I am afraid I will miss out, or I am afraid this won't work unless I force it. Hurry is not confidence, it is panic, and panic is a signal of lack. When you hurry, you are not broadcasting faith and purpose, you are broadcasting fear and desperation. The formless substance responds to this signal by slowing down, because it is giving you exactly what you are asking for. More reasons to feel rushed, more reasons to feel behind, more reasons to feel like you are running out of time. This is why Wattles warns, you must never hurry. True speed is calm. True speed is the result of perfect alignment, not frantic effort. Think about it. A master craftsman does not rush. He works with precision, with care, with confidence. And because of that, his work is completed faster and with higher quality than the work of someone who is rushing and making mistakes. The same principle applies to manifestation. When you move with calm certainty, when you act from relaxed intensity rather than panic, the formless substance moves with you at maximum speed. When you hurry, you create resistance, and resistance is the enemy of speed. The hurry trap is especially dangerous because it feels productive. It feels like you are doing something. You are busy, you are active, you are working hard. But if that activity is driven by fear rather than faith, it is counterproductive. You are not accelerating the process, you are sabotaging it. The way to avoid the hurry trap is to constantly check your emotional state. Ask yourself, am I moving from a place of calm certainty, or am I moving from a place of fear and urgency? If it is the latter, you must stop, breathe, and return to the state of relaxed intensity before you continue. The second fatal mistake is what I call checking the oven. This is the habit of constantly looking for physical evidence that your manifestation is coming. You check your bank account multiple times a day to see if the money has arrived. You refresh your email constantly to see if the opportunity has shown up. You scan your environment for signs that things are changing. This seems like a reasonable thing to do, but it is actually one of the most destructive habits you can have because it implies that you do not trust the process. When you check the oven, you are saying to the formless substance, I don't believe it's really happening, so I need to see proof. This is a signal of doubt, and doubt is the opposite of faith. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it is growing. The seed will never grow because you keep interrupting its natural process. The same is true for your manifestation. Every time you check for evidence, you reset the process. You disconnect from the speed signal and reconnect to the signal of doubt. Wattles teaches that you must never allow yourself to dwell on the appearance of poverty, or to think or speak of times as being hard. This includes checking your bank account with anxiety, or looking at your current circumstances with disappointment. The physical world is always a reflection of your past thoughts. What you see today is the result of what you were thinking weeks or months ago. If you judge your progress based on what you see today, you are judging based on outdated information. You must learn to ignore the current evidence and focus only on the mental reality you are creating. The way to avoid checking the oven is to cultivate what I call evidence blindness. This does not mean you ignore practical responsibilities. It means you do not allow the current physical evidence to influence your mental state. You pay your bills, you manage your affairs, but you do so with the calm certainty that the situation is temporary and the abundance is on its way. You do not let the lack you see today convince you that the abundance will not come tomorrow. You hold the vision, you hold the signal, and you let the formless substance do its work without interference. Now let me share with you some of Wattles' most profound instructions, the master's tips that will elevate your practice of the speed signal to the level of mastery. The first tip is this: go on in the certain way, and if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something so much better that you will see that the seeming failure was really a great success. This is a liberating truth. It means you do not have to worry about whether you are doing it right. You do not have to stress about whether the exact thing you visualized will manifest in the exact way you imagined. The formless substance is intelligent. It knows what you truly need, and it knows the fastest path to get it to you. Sometimes the thing you think you want is not actually the thing that will serve you best. Sometimes the path you think you should take is not the most efficient path. When you hold the speed signal with faith and purpose, you are not commanding the universe to deliver a specific outcome in a specific way. You are aligning yourself with the flow of creation, and you are trusting that flow to bring you what is best. If the thing you visualize does not come, it is because something better is coming. This is not failure. This is the intelligence of the formless substance at work. This teaching removes the burden of control. You do not have to micromanage the universe. You do not have to figure out every step of the journey. You simply hold the vision, send the signal, and trust the process. The formless substance will arrange circumstances, opportunities, and resources in ways you could never have planned. Your job is not to control the how. Your job is to maintain the signal and act on the intuitions you receive. When you do this, you will be amazed at how things fall into place, often in ways that are far better than what you originally imagined. The second master's tip is this: speed comes from efficient action, not frantic activity. This ties back to the hurry trap. Wattles is teaching that you must distinguish between being busy and being effective. Many people confuse the two. They think that if they are working long hours, if they are exhausted at the end of the day, if they are constantly in motion, then they must be making progress. But this is not true. Progress comes from aligned action, not from volume of action. Efficient action is action that is taken in harmony with the formless substance. It is action that is guided by intuition, not by fear. It is action that is performed with the certainty of success, not with the anxiety of failure. When you act efficiently, you do less but achieve more. You do not waste energy on tasks that do not serve your vision. You do not scatter your focus across a dozen different projects. You concentrate your energy on the actions that are most aligned with your purpose, and you perform those actions with total commitment and total faith. This is why Wattles teaches that you must do every act in a successful manner. It is not enough to just do the act. You must do it with the mental state of success. If you are making a phone call to a potential client, you do not make the call with the hope that they will say yes. You make the call with the certainty that they will say yes, because you are aligned with the formless substance, and you know that the right opportunities are flowing to you. This certainty is part of the signal, and it accelerates the process. The third master's tip is to never compete. Competition is a signal of scarcity. It implies that there is not enough to go around, that you must fight for your share, that someone else's success is a threat to your success. But Wattles teaches that the formless substance is infinite. There is no scarcity. There is no limit to what can be created. When you compete, you are operating from the old paradigm of lack, and you slow down your own manifestation. When you create, you are operating from the new paradigm of abundance, and you accelerate your manifestation. This means you do not look at others in your field as competitors. You look at them as fellow creators. You do not feel threatened by their success. You feel inspired by it, because their success is proof that the formless substance is working. If they can do it, so can you. In fact, their success makes it easier for you because they have already paved the way. When you adopt this mindset, you remove the energy of competition from your signal, and you replace it with the energy of creation. This is a subtle but powerful shift, and it significantly accelerates your results. The fourth master's tip is to give. Wattles teaches that you must give to every person more in use value than you take from them in cash value. This is not charity. This is the mechanism of increase. When you give more than you receive, You signal to the formless substance that you are a source of abundance, not a drain of resources. The formless substance responds by making you a channel for even greater abundance. This is the law of circulation. What you give out must come back to you multiplied, but the giving must be done in the right spirit. You do not give in order to manipulate the universe into giving back to you. You give because you understand that you are already abundant, and abundance naturally flows through you to others. You give because it is an expression of your faith in the infinite supply. When you give from this place, you accelerate the flow of wealth into your life, because you are demonstrating through your actions that you trust the formless substance to provide. And what you demonstrate, you receive. Now let us connect this teaching to the realm of physics, because the speed signal is not just a spiritual concept, it is a principle that mirrors the laws of the physical universe. In physics, there is a phenomenon called superconductivity. This occurs when a material is cooled to a certain temperature, and its electrical resistance drops to zero. When this happens, electricity can flow through the material with perfect efficiency, with no loss of energy, with no delay. The current moves instantly because there is nothing to slow it down. This is exactly what happens when you achieve total coherence in your mental signal. Doubt, fear, and worry are resistance in the mental wires. They are the friction that slows down the flow of creative power from the formless substance to your physical reality. When you remove this resistance, when you eliminate all contradictory thoughts and hold the signal of faith and purpose without wavering, you create a state of mental superconductivity. The current of manifestation flows instantly because there is nothing to slow it down. The formless substance can deliver your desire at the speed of thought because the channel is clear. Most people are operating with high resistance. Their mental wires are clogged with doubt, fear, impatience, and contradiction. They send a signal of "I want this," but then they immediately send a signal of "I doubt this will work." This is like trying to run electricity through a wire that is half connected. The current cannot flow, the energy is blocked. The result is delay, frustration, and the appearance that the process is not working. But the process is always working. It is just that the resistance is preventing the current from reaching its destination. When you understand this, you realize that the speed secret is not about doing more things or trying harder. It is about removing resistance. It is about cleaning up your signal so that the creative power can flow through you without obstruction. This is why Wattles emphasizes the importance of thinking in a certain way. The certain way is the way of zero resistance. It is the way of perfect alignment. It is the way of mental superconductivity. When you think in this way, you become a conduit for the formless substance, and it moves through you at maximum speed. Another principle from physics that applies here is the concept of resonance. In physics, resonance occurs when a system is able to absorb energy at a particular frequency with maximum efficiency. If you push a swing at the right frequency, it goes higher and higher with minimal effort. If you push it at the wrong frequency, it barely moves, no matter how hard you push. The same principle applies to manifestation. The formless substance has a frequency, and that frequency is abundance, creation, and infinite possibility. When your mental frequency matches this frequency, you resonate with it, and the energy flows to you with maximum efficiency. But when your mental frequency is tuned to lack, doubt, or fear, you are out of resonance with the formless substance. You are pushing the swing at the wrong frequency, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot get it to move. This is why affirmations alone do not work for most people. They are saying the words, but they are not feeling the frequency. They are affirming wealth while feeling poor. They are visualizing success while believing in failure. The words and the frequency do not match, so there is no resonance, and the energy does not flow. The speed signal is the practice of tuning your mental frequency to match the frequency of the formless substance. You do this by eliminating all thoughts of lack and replacing them with thoughts of abundance. You do this by living from the end, by feeling as though you already possess what you desire. You do this by acting with the certainty of success, not the hope of success. When your frequency matches the frequency of the formless substance, you enter a state of resonance, and the manifestation happens effortlessly and rapidly. There is also a principle in physics called the path of least resistance. Water always flows along the path of least resistance. Electricity always takes the path of least resistance. The formless substance is no different. It will always deliver your desire along the path of least resistance. But what determines the path of least resistance? Your mental state. When you are in a state of faith and purpose, the path is clear and direct. When you are in a state of doubt and fear, the path is blocked and convoluted. The formless substance is trying to reach you, but your resistance is forcing it to take a longer route. This is why some people manifest quickly and others do not. It is not that the universe favors some people over others. It is that some people have cleared the path and others have not. When you practice the speed signal, you are clearing the path. You are removing the obstacles. You are creating a direct channel from the formless substance to your physical reality. And when the channel is clear, the delivery is instant. Think of it this way. If you order a package online, the speed of delivery depends on the route. If the route is clear, the package arrives quickly. If the route is blocked by traffic, construction, or detours, the package is delayed. Your mental state is the route. When your mental state is clear, when you are holding faith and purpose without contradiction, the route is clear, and your desire arrives quickly. When your mental state is cluttered with doubt and fear, the route is blocked and your desire is delayed. The package is always on its way. The question is, how clear is the route? This understanding from physics gives you a concrete framework for why the speed signal works. It is not mystical or magical. It is a natural law. Just as electricity flows faster through a superconductor, just as a system resonates more powerfully when the frequencies match, just as water flows faster along the path of least resistance, so too does your manifestation accelerate when you remove the mental resistance and align with the formless substance. This is the science behind the speed secret. Wattles was not a mystic. He was a scientist of the mind. He observed the laws of creation and taught them in a systematic way. The speed signal is one of those laws. It is the law of mental superconductivity, the law of resonance, the law of the path of least resistance. When you understand these laws and apply them, you are no longer guessing or hoping. You are working with the fundamental principles of reality, and the results are predictable, repeatable, and fast. The final insight from physics is the concept of coherence in light. A regular light bulb emits incoherent light. The photons are scattered in all directions with no alignment. But a laser emits coherent light. All the photons are aligned in the same direction, moving in perfect harmony. This is why a laser can cut through steel while a light bulb cannot. The power is the same, but the coherence makes all the difference. Your thoughts are like photons. When they are scattered, when you are thinking about wealth one moment and lack the next, they have no power. But when they are aligned, when every thought is moving in the same direction toward the same goal, they become a laser. They cut through resistance. They penetrate reality. They create results at the speed of light. This is the power of total coherence. This is the power of the speed signal. When you align all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your actions in the same direction, you become a force of nature. You become unstoppable. The formless substance has no choice but to respond to you, because you are broadcasting a signal so clear, so powerful, so coherent that it cannot be ignored. This is the state of the master. This is the state that produces miracles. This is the state that collapses time. Let me illustrate this principle with a story that will make it tangible. Imagine an archer standing before a target. The archer has two options. The first option is to be tense, anxious, worried about missing. The archer's muscles are tight. The breathing is shallow. The mind is racing with thoughts of failure. When the archer releases the arrow, it is shaky, erratic, and slow. The tension in the body creates friction, and the arrow barely reaches the target. Even if it does, it lacks power and precision. This is the archer of doubt. The second option is to be calm, focused, and certain. The archer's muscles are relaxed but engaged. The breathing is deep and steady. The mind is clear, focused only on the target. There is no thought of missing, no worry about failure, only the absolute certainty that the arrow will hit exactly where it is intended. When this archer releases the arrow, it flies straight and fast. There is no friction, no hesitation, no wasted energy. The arrow reaches the target with perfect precision and maximum speed. This is the archer of faith. The difference between these two archers is not in their skill or their equipment. It is in their mental state. The first archer is creating resistance through tension and doubt. The second archer is creating superconductivity through calm and certainty. The same principle applies to you. When you approach your goals with tension and doubt, you create resistance, and your results are slow and weak. When you approach your goals with calm certainty, you create superconductivity, and your results are fast and powerful. This story also illustrates the principle of relaxed intensity. The successful archer is not passive. There is intensity in the focus, in the aim, in the commitment to the target. But there is no tension. The intensity is relaxed, smooth, effortless. This is the state you must cultivate. You must be fully committed to your vision, but you must not grip it with fear. You must hold it with the calm certainty of a master who knows the outcome is guaranteed. Another way to understand this is through the metaphor of a river. A river does not hurry, yet it always reaches the ocean. It does not force its way through obstacles. It flows around them. It does not doubt its destination. It simply moves consistently, persistently, with perfect faith in the path. This is the energy of the speed signal. You do not hurry, yet you always reach your goal. You do not force your way through obstacles. You flow around them, guided by the intelligence of the formless substance. You do not doubt your destination. You simply move, consistently, persistently, with perfect faith in the process. The river also teaches you about the power of consistency. A single drop of water has no power to carve stone, but a river, flowing consistently over time, can carve the Grand Canyon. Your thoughts are like drops of water. A single thought of faith has some power, but it is not enough to create lasting change. But when you hold that thought consistently, when you send that signal day after day without interruption, you carve a channel in reality. You create a path that the formless substance can flow through, and the results become inevitable. This is why the speed signal is not just about thinking the right thoughts for a few minutes a day. It is about maintaining those thoughts consistently, all day long, every day. It is about making faith and purpose your default state, not just a temporary practice. When you do this, you become like the river, unstoppable, inevitable, powerful. The universe has no choice but to yield to you, because you are working with the fundamental laws of creation. The archer and the river are not just metaphors. They are illustrations of how the speed signal works in the real world. They show you that speed is not about force or effort. It is about alignment, coherence, and consistency. When you embody these qualities, you accelerate your manifestation in ways that will astonish you. You will look back at your old way of thinking and wonder how you ever tolerated the slow pace of doubt and hesitation. You will realize that you were always capable of rapid creation. You just needed to remove the resistance that was slowing you down. We have journeyed through the mechanics of the speed signal, and now it is time to synthesize this power into a single, unified understanding. The speed secret that Wallace D. Wattles taught is not complicated, but it is profound. It is not about doing more things. It is about holding a clearer signal. The universe is not slow. The formless substance is not indifferent. The delay you experience is not a cosmic test or a divine punishment. The delay is simply the result of your own mixed signals, your own internal contradictions, your own resistance to the flow of creation. When you eliminate the static, when you broadcast the signal of possession, when you act with immediate obedience to intuition, you remove all resistance from the channel. You create a state of mental superconductivity where the creative power flows through you instantly, without friction, without delay. This is the state where miracles become normal, where the impossible becomes inevitable, where time itself seems to bend in your favor. You're not controlling time. You're removing the resistance that makes time feel slow. The synthesis of power is this: faith and purpose united and sustained create a signal so pure that the formless substance has no choice but to respond at maximum speed. This is not theory. This is law. This is not hope. This is certainty. When you master this signal, you master the art of rapid creation. You step into a reality where your desires do not take years to manifest. They take weeks, days, or even hours. Not because you are special, not because you are lucky, but because you have learned to work with the laws of creation instead of against them. Everything Wattles taught, the gratitude, the vision, the action in the certain way, all of it serves this single purpose: to help you maintain the speed signal without interruption. Gratitude keeps you aligned with abundance. Vision keeps you focused on the end result. Action keeps you moving with the formless substance. When these elements are combined with the three components of the speed signal, total coherence, the signal of now, and the action of readiness, you become an unstoppable force of creation. The universe is waiting for you to stop stuttering and speak clearly. It is waiting for you to stop sending mixed messages and commit to a single frequency. It is waiting for you to stop checking the oven and trust the process. The moment you do this, the moment you clean up your signal and hold it with unwavering faith, the floodgates open, the resources flow, the opportunities appear, the synchronicities multiply, and you realize that the power was always within you. You just needed to learn how to use it. Your wealth is racing toward you at the speed of light. Right now, in this very moment, the formless substance is arranging circumstances, moving resources, aligning opportunities to deliver everything you have been visualizing. The only thing slowing it down is the barrier of your own doubt. Every time you worry, you build the barrier higher. Every time you check for evidence, you reinforce the barrier. Every time you hurry or hesitate, you thicken the barrier. But every time you return to faith, every time you feel gratitude, every time you act with certainty, you dissolve the barrier, lower the barrier, send the clear, unmixed signal of absolute faith and purpose. Stop waiting for it and start owning it mentally. When you do this, the physical world has no choice but to catch up, fast. This is not a promise that requires you to hope. This is a law that requires you to act. The law is already working. The formless substance is already responding. The question is, are you sending the signal that accelerates creation, or are you sending the signal that delays it? You have been given the knowledge. You have been shown the mechanics. You have been taught the three components and the post technique. You have been warned about the fatal mistakes. You now have everything you need to collapse the timeline of your success. The only thing left is for you to apply it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. The moment you finish this video, you must make a decision. Will you continue to live in the old paradigm of doubt and delay, or will you step into the new paradigm of faith and speed? The masters who came before you, Wallace D. Wattles, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, Florence Scovel Shinn, they all taught variations of the same truth. They all understood that the power is in your mind, that the delay is in your doubt, that the speed is in your faith. They lived this truth, and they achieved results that seemed miraculous to those who did not understand the law. But you now understand the law. You now have the key. The only question is, will you use it? Understand that this is not about becoming a different person. This is about removing the layers of conditioning that have been hiding your true power. You were born with the ability to create rapidly. You were born with a direct connection to the formless substance. You were born with the speed signal already within you, but you were taught to doubt, to fear, to wait, to struggle. You were taught that success takes time, that wealth is hard to come by, that you must suffer before you can succeed. These teachings are lies. They are the old paradigm, and today you are breaking free from them. When you stop waiting for it and start owning it mentally, you send a signal to the formless substance that you are ready. You are ready to receive. You are ready to succeed. You are ready to step into the life you have been visualizing. And when the formless substance receives this signal, it moves heaven and earth to deliver. It does not ask if you are worthy. It does not check your credentials. It simply responds to the frequency you are broadcasting. And if that frequency is pure, clear, and sustained, the response is immediate. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to take everything you have learned and apply it with total commitment. Do not let this knowledge sit in your mind as interesting information. Let it become your way of life. Let it become your default state. Let it become the lens through which you see the world. When you do this, you will notice that opportunities appear faster, resources flow more easily, synchronicities multiply, and you will realize that the universe was never slow, you were just blocking the flow. I want to leave you with a challenge, a practice that will test your commitment to the speed signal and accelerate your results beyond anything you have experienced before. I call this the Zero Friction Challenge. For the next 24 hours, your goal is to not allow a single thought of delay, doubt, or waiting to linger in your mind. Not one. If you catch such a thought, you must annihilate it instantly with gratitude. You must replace it within seconds, before it has a chance to take root. For 24 hours, you will act on every intuition immediately. If you feel a nudge to call someone, you call them right away. If you feel an impulse to explore an opportunity, you explore it immediately. If you feel guided to take any action, no matter how small, you take it without hesitation. The goal is to experience a day of perfect flow, a day where you are in complete alignment with the formless substance, a day where there is zero friction between your mind and the creative power of the universe. This challenge will not be easy. You will be tempted to doubt, you will be tempted to check for evidence, you will be tempted to hurry or to hesitate. But if you can maintain the speed signal for 24 hours without interruption, you will experience a shift that will change your life. You will feel the power of mental superconductivity. You will see results that will confirm the truth of what you have learned, and you will realize that rapid creation is not a fantasy. It is your natural state when you remove the resistance. I challenge you to take this challenge seriously. Do not approach it as a game or an experiment. Approach it as a declaration of your commitment to mastering the speed signal. Approach it as a test of your faith, your discipline, your willingness to think in a certain way. And when you complete the 24 hours, I want you to come back to this video and share your experience in the comments. Tell us what shifted. Tell us what you noticed. Tell us how the universe responded when you sent a pure signal for an entire day. If you are ready to take your foot off the brake and watch your desires accelerate into reality, if you are ready to stop waiting and start owning, if you are ready to collapse the timeline of your success, then subscribe to the Master's Legacy. This channel exists to decode the exact methods the great masters used to bend reality to their will. We do not teach theory, we teach law. We do not offer hope, we offer certainty. And we do not accept delay as inevitable. We teach you how to accelerate creation through the power of your own mind. The speed secret is now yours. Wallace D. Wattles has given you the key. The formless substance is waiting for your signal. The only question is, will you send it? Will you commit to total coherence, to the signal of now, to the action of readiness? Will you eliminate the static, avoid the hurry trap, and stop checking the oven? Will you practice instant shifts, live from the end, and trust the process? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Your wealth is racing toward you. Lower the barrier, send the signal, and watch the universe respond at the speed of light.